Welcome to the Scott Townsend Show, brought to you by Dietzo Man Productions.
Hey, this is Scott Townsend. Welcome back to the Scott Townsend Show. And today I'm going to talk just a little bit about customer service and Lowe's. I'll start with the Lowe's. So I have started working at Lowe's. I don't know if I've mentioned that before or not. I'm in the paint department, mixing, I call it slinging paint. It's a lot of fun, actually. It helps people. It's one of the few departments where the product is not finished until you mix the paint. So people have to tell you what they want, and then you make it and then give it to them. Simple as that. I see a lot of people that I know, having grown up in this town for so long, I see a ton of people. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was customer service and how easy it is to make your customer feel like they're noticed, they're wanted, that you have seen them. I started using the customer's name in the paint department. I've always believed this. Use the customer's name as much as possible. Look at the credit card that you're receiving. If you're in retail or in the restaurant business, there's their name. Use their name. So I put my money where my mouth is. And so here's the script. Here's the way it goes. Customer comes up and says, I would like this color matched up or mixed. So you ask them, is it interior, exterior, what kind of sheen do you want? Quart, gallon, how many gallons? What product do you want? And the last thing I ask them is their name. What's your first name? And they say Tom, for example. And then I say, all right, Tom, I'll get right on it. So I've used their name twice already in the last 10 seconds. What's your first name? Tom. Tom, I say. All right, Tom, well, let me get to work on this and let you know when it's ready. Cool. So now they've heard their own name said back to them twice. People love hearing their own name. So then mix the paint. It's ready to go. And put it up on the counter. And I write their name on the little dynamo label that gets printed and put on the lid of the paint can. So in this case, it'd be Tom. So I write Tom's name on the label so that when Tom comes up to the counter to pick up their paint, they know exactly which can is theirs. And so if I see Tom, a lot of times customers will stand there waiting to get their paint. They'll say, I'll say, hey, Tom, your paint's ready. So now I've used their name 3 times. And they'll say, oh, okay, thanks. Really appreciate it. And it just kind of, you can just see the distance shortened between myself and them. You can see a rapport that's starting to be built up in such a quick amount of time, just because of using their name. Now, if they are not standing there waiting for the paint, then I'll go on the intercom and say, Tom, your paint's ready. Tom, your paint's ready. So now I've used their name, 4 times now? And when they come up to the counter to get the paint, I'll say, all right, Tom, have a good day. Hey, Tom, here's your paint. Have a good day. So now I've used it 5 times now? When you go to a restaurant or a drive-through or any kind of retail situation and you hand over, they won't ask you your name, rarely, unless you're in a restaurant and you're waiting in line. But for the most part, not. And so it's so easy to stand out in the crowd. It's so easy it's magic. but the magic, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything for me to ask them what their name is, write their name down, whatever. And it builds instant rapport. The customer likes hearing their own name. They feel like they're known. It reminds me of, where is it here? So it reminds me of Cheers. Where's that? So I printed out the lyrics to Cheers. Cheers. I love the theme song. Everybody knows it. I'm sure you know it. Here it is. It's making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. That's true. Whether you're going to church, whether you're going to, I don't know, going to work, going to a restaurant, going to Home Depot, Lowe's, Barnes and Noble, especially in those situations where you hand over a credit card. When you hand over a credit card, you don't have to ask them their name. That their name is on the credit card. So as soon as the transaction is over with, let's go to Barnes and Noble, go buy a book, give them my credit card, or you know, the thing when this won't work is when you put your credit card in the credit card machine, not the customer. I haven't figured out how to do that one yet. I don't know if their name gets printed out on the receipt. Your name gets printed out on the receipt or not. I don't know that. I would have to have to think about that one. So that might be a little tough. But if you're taking the credit card and you're swiping it and doing all that, then you've got the name, and you can use the name. Just read the card. It's right there, Tom. All right, thanks, Tom. Talk to you. See you later. And so now you want to go where everybody knows your name. Everybody wants that. And so there, you can do it at work. Wherever you are, whoever's listening right now, you who are listening right now, when you go to work, instead of walking down the hall and just saying, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going?" Whatever, just call them by their first name. And if you don't know their first name, find out their first name and use it. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Hey, Tom, how's it going? Feels like you know them and they're known. And that's all anybody wants, is just to be recognized. And it is as easy as that. Yeah, well, I can't remember people's names. I have a hard time remembering people's names. Well, work on it. Repeat it to yourself 3 or 4 times. Write it down on a piece of paper. Visualize their face and their name. Come up with a rhyme. Do something. There's all kinds of ways to help remember people's names. And you know what? If you don't want to, you won't do it. So I'm really only talking to those of you who really who see the value in this and want to make the customer experience as good as it can be. Improving the customer experience. So, and it helps when you use a name tag. So when people, "Hey, Tom, see you later," and they'll look down at your name tag and say, "Have this happen a lot." They'll look at my name tag. "Scott, I really appreciate it. Talk to you later." Now, the other thing, now this is where it really gets cool, is if the customer comes back the next day or, a day or 2 later, whatever, and you recognize them, number one, and you remember their name. I remember their name. I had this happen to me yesterday. Lady came in. She had been in the day before, and I thought I know her name. So as I walked, she was being helped by somebody else. But as I walked in behind the counter there and was going to another area of the paint department. I pointed to her and I said, Allison? She was like, oh, yeah. I was like, hey, welcome back. And just walked on. No big deal. So if you can get to the point where you are starting to recognize people and people are coming back because they like the experience, they like the personal touch, the personalized touch, they like seeing their name on the label, they like hearing their name, you're giving them good service, quick service. I mean, this is when it really starts getting fun. And it's like magic, but it's not. It's just their first name. I'm not saying memorize their full name. It's their first name. And then whenever you see them again, say, hey, Allison, how's it going? Hey, Betty, how's it going? Whatever. That's when it starts really getting cool. And that's when you start getting people to come back. They vote with their feet and they come back to your store because they like the customer experience. And it doesn't cost you a lot of money. It doesn't cost you any money just to use the person's name, but it's the sweetest sound. You've heard that before. It's the sweetest sound to a person is their own name. And so you get customer retention is huge. People, it costs more money to attract a new customer than it does to retain an existing customer. We all know that too. So what are you doing for customer retention? What are you doing to help customers want to come back? Help them feel welcome. It's not that hard. And it's actually a lot of fun. You don't know what kind of day they've had, and you're making their day just a little better incrementally. Could be huge, but it could be just an incremental improvement in their day because you were there and you recognized them and you took the time to know them quickly and help them with their whatever their need is. But really what you're going to find is that people come back just because they like the experience. They might even find a reason to come back to the store just to buy something maybe they don't even actually need, or they don't really need it or need it at that time, or it's a pressing issue. But you're going to find that some people just come back because they like the atmosphere. They like it's like their store. So anyway, am I crazy? I mean, it's working for me. If you have any experience with this, if you've done it before, or if you think this is a bunch of crap, let me know. Scott at scotttownsend.info, Scott at scotttownsend.info. And this podcast, to help support this podcast, I'm going to start with the Patreon. But for right now, I've got the buymeacoffee.com/Scott Townsend. You can send money my way to help support this podcast. If you like it, enjoy it, I highly recommend. Only if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But if you're so inclined, like, share, subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Listen to your favorite podcasts. I'll post it on the YouTube channel, the audio version. I think that's it. So for calling the customer by name, this is Scott Townsend. Everybody hang in there. It's going to be a great day. Everything's going to be okay. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
The Scott Townsend Show is a Deetso Man production. For more episodes, visit the Scott Townsend Show YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.